All right, Comp One. I hope you had a great weekend. I know last week was a pretty heavy week for my class, so I appreciate you slugging through, and I hope that you were able to do all of those readings. I know it was a lot of reading, especially for some people who are just not readers. I get that. Others, hey, you sit down with a book and you just can't stop. But I know that the reading is dry whenever it's coming from a textbook. So I appreciate you doing that reading, and I promise you, if you didn't do the reading, you really need to go back and do the reading. I don't assign things just to be assigning them. So those things, I really do. I really do think you should read those. Let's get into what we're doing this week. I'm going to share my screen with you. Of course, I did mention a little bit about when essays are graded. I already graded all your essays, so you should have all those essays graded and hand it back to you. Um, at this point, we're looking at, this is midterm week. Now, in Comp 1, we don't have midterm exams. All we do is we just do essays. And just so you know what your midterm grade will be, your SA2 will not be included in your midterm grade. And that is because your midterm grade, I have to report that midterm grade on Monday of next week. And your essay, of course, is due Friday of this week. And it takes a week or two for me to get all of the essays graded. There's just no way that I could have your SA2 graded in time to include it on your midterm grade. So just so you know what is on your midterm grade, everything except for your SA2 will be on your midterm grade. Okay, so your first four summaries will be on your midterm grade. Your all the homework, like the process stuff that you hand in, that will be on your midterm grade. Everything that you've done this semester, except for SA2, will be on your midterm grade. Just as a quick word on what midterm grades mean, it used to be that midterm grades were really important because it was the only time of the year that you could really see how you were doing in the class other than the final. But now, thanks to Blackboard, you can see where you are in the class as I grade your papers. So as soon as I grade a new paper, Blackboard instantly tallies the percentages and it will tell you what your grade is. So in the modern age, midterm grades aren't all that important. They never stick with you, just so you know. No one will ever know what you got on a midterm grade. Your final grades are the only things that stay on your college transcripts. But it is something that, of course, for people, maybe if you're parents, or if maybe you have a beneficiary or a benefactor, someone who is paying your way, they get a copy of your midterm grades, maybe scholarships, things like that. Your midterm grades might affect that as well. But at the end of the day, your grade is constantly changing. Every time I grade something, it will change, and you can always see where you stand in the class. So having said that, let's take a look at what we're doing this week. You can go to the syllabus, and we'll just take a quick look at that. This week is pretty straightforward. We've got an essay that you should have handed in the rough draft to the discussion boards by Friday. And so by Wednesday of this week, you need to have made a comment on two people's essays. So we're doing peer review, just like what we did in week for essay one. We're going to do it for every single essay. So we're going to do peer review again. And the first time you do peer review, sometimes people aren't very good at it. And the idea is that we're going to get more intensive with it. So try to give better feedback. Try to give more feedback than what you did before. The more help you can give to your partner or to your fellow classmates, first of all, the more help that they receive, and that's good. We want everybody to give a lot of feedback because you want to receive a lot of feedback. It's always really helpful because once I get it, I have to grade it, right? And so just a quick word on that. So far you guys are doing great. The essay ones were really, there was a lot of A's and B's. And so far so good with essay one. Having said that though, every essay gets a little harder, and essay two is harder than essay one. Essay three will be harder than essays 1 and 2, and essay 4 is going to be the hardest of the whole bunch. And so we always want to really try to look at it as something we're getting greater and greater at this skill, which is reading and writing. So if we take a look at week number 8, let's just zoom in on that real quick. Maybe I'll zoom a little bit more. All right, so week number 8, you will complete your peer review by midnight on Wednesday. Okay, and that's 2 other classmates you're going to do a peer review for. And your SA2 is due by Friday. So Friday at midnight, you got to hand in that SA2. Many of you will hand it in before then, but just so you know, that's the end date, Friday at midnight. Then you're going to take a look at some of the new videos for next week. But you know, I don't expect you to really get too deep into the rest of this stuff this week. I really want you to focus on really getting that SA2 really solid and make sure that you've got that and you really understand it well. There will be videos in the SA3 folder that I'll have posted for you very soon this week. So I probably won't have those posted until Wednesday of this week. So, you know, I don't expect you to look at them even probably until maybe Friday of this week. But basically, you're going to look at the videos concerning Aristotle's 3 appeals. Then you're also going to read the assignment sheet for SA3. That is in the SA3 folder, okay? We're moving on. And then the next 2 readings are going to be 2 ways a woman can get hurt and why bother. Both of these are from the textbook. Now, if you go to, and again, this is jumping further ahead than most of you guys will get this week. I just want you to, as of the end of this week though, you should hand in your paper and you should be at least understanding of what I'm asking you to do. If you take a look, if you go down to the SA3 works cited entries, I give you the works cited entries for both of those readings. So 2 ways a woman can get hurt and why bother. They're both there. So yes, eventually you're going to summarize those. You know, and I'm glad you're watching this because it's something where the big things I want you to focus on is completing SA2, you know, so the peer review, complete SA2, to really work on those things. And, you know, if you get around to it, maybe Friday, watch my videos, take a look at the new assignment sheet. Basically, don't look at that stuff until you've handed in SA2. And if that is midnight on Friday night, don't look at it until midnight on Friday night, or maybe look at it over the weekend or something like that. It's not the most pressing thing. The most pressing thing right now is that you finish your SA2 and hand it in. So real quick, I'm just going to, I always want to just real quick show you where you're going to hand stuff in. So your SA2 project materials folder, you're going to go down and you hand in the electronic copy of SA2. You do that here. Then you're going to go to the SA2 process points, and this is exactly the same as before. It used to be that I would take these up by hand. I'm just changing this real quick so you understand. But basically, this is all on one file. I'm actually just editing as we're speaking right now, because normally, whenever I do this in a face-to-face class, normally I have all this stuff, you know, handed in just by hand. But in this, of course, in this environment, we can't do that. So I'm just making the adjustment as we're going through it. On your process points, just like last week, you're going to copy, or not last week, but just like on SA1, you're going to copy and paste everything into a single document. And so if you did stuff by hand, take a picture of it, drag it into a Word document or a PDF. It has to be a Word document or PDF. It always has to be a Word document or PDF. Just make sure you get that into me by Friday at midnight. And it's got to have all of those things, right? So all your pre-writing, your outline, your audience awareness paragraph, those big 3 that you have to have. So whether you did brainstorming, clustering, or free writing, it doesn't matter. One of those has to be there. And then your outline and then your audience awareness paragraph, that all has to be in there. And that is, you'll hand that in right here. And then in addition to handing in your essay and your process points, I would like you to take a look at this. This is the SA2 reflection. This doesn't count for points, but it is something that later on you'll be able to look back on. At the end of the semester, the final project for the semester is called the portfolio project. And it's going to require you to look back throughout the semester at the changes, at the differences between essays, things you learned, things that were different about different essays. And I just have this here for you. If you want to do it, great. If not, I highly recommend that you do it though, because this is something that it doesn't count for points, but it does help you later on. And so just answer these questions, and you can just click here, answer the questions in the text box. So write submission, answer it right here. It counts for 0 points, but it is something that you can use later on, and it'll help everybody that does all these, because I have this for the rest of the next 3 essays. Everybody always is happy that they've done it. So you just answer these questions to give yourself some help for the future. Okay, so again, that's optional, but it is highly recommended to do. It's that SA2 reflection piece right there. So just read it and answer the questions, and that will be there to help you at the end of the semester. Okay, having said that, those are the things you're handing in. Just as a quick review, by midnight Friday night, you've already handed in your SA2 peer review. You'll go here before Wednesday night at Friday night, or Wednesday night at midnight. You click on one of these, and you're going to reply to someone, and you're going to answer all those questions that are at the discussions. Let's see here. Basically, you copy and paste these questions, and just like you did last week, and you're going to answer those questions for your partner. So, okay, great. Copy, and then I go in here, and then I take a look at somebody's rough draft, click reply. Generally, I'm just going to do Control V, and then I'm just going to answer the questions. It didn't look like anybody had any problems with this last time, so I just expect that you'll understand how to do this. If for some reason you have a question, of course, feel free to reach out to me. We can take a minute to do a Zoom call or something like that during an office hour and knock this out. But basically, you just need to reply to, so peer review at least 2 of your classroom, of your classmates, and try to choose people that haven't already been reviewed. So if you see that someone already has 2, well, then move on to the next person so everybody gets a chance to be reviewed. So once you've done that Wednesday night at midnight, of course, make your changes. And then by Friday night at midnight, you're going to go to the SA2 project materials folder, and you're going to hand in your copy of SA2, your final draft, and you're going to hand in your process points there. And then once you've done that, take a look at the stuff for next week, but not until then. Okay, guys, thanks so much. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. If not, I will look forward to reading this next batch of essays. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great week.